Hi everyone, I am Dr. Tinku Joseph. I am working as one of the interventional pulmonologists at Amrita Hospital in Cochin. Today I will be discussing on the topic black fungus or mucormycosis and its relation with COVID-19 infection. So the black fungus, even though it's an extremely rare entity prior to COVID-19 infection, and most of you might not have heard about it before, but since past couple of months across the media, it is well known. Now let's see what is this black fungus or mucormycosis. So mucormycosis or black fungus, it's a rare form of fungal infection, and the spores of this fungus is present throughout the environment. It is primarily seen in compost, leaves, and any other place which has got high amount of moisture content. So even though it is seen across the environment, fortunately every individual is not getting infected by this particular fungus. So as I mentioned before, mucormycosis is an extremely rare form of fungal infection. Not every individual is prone to develop this infection, but people who are suffering from diabetes mellitus, the ones with uncontrolled blood sugars, the people who are on insulin but their sugar level is towards higher side are the ones who should be extremely careful, because these are the most vulnerable group which can potentially acquire this infection. So apart from people who are suffering from diabetes, the other group of patients, especially the ones who are suffering from any form of cancer, who have undergone organ transplantation, let it be liver, kidney, heart, lung or any other organ, as well as the ones who have undergone stem cell or a bone marrow transplantation, are the ones who are more prone to develop mucormycosis or a black fungus infection. So the people who are suffering from COVID-19 infection, unfortunately in India, let it be mild, moderate or severe disease of COVID infection, almost everyone is being treated with steroids. When you treat somebody with steroids, their blood sugar level goes up, and when the blood sugar level goes up, automatically it acts as a culture media for the fungus to grow inside a person's body. The usage of steroids is recommended only for the people who are suffering from pneumonia, who require oxygen support, or the ones who have been admitted in the ICU. If the blood sugar level is not being monitored properly, it acts as a potential source for acquiring this infection. So mucormycosis can literally affect any part of the human body. The most commonly involved site or the affected site is sinuses and the brain, and it is known as the rhinocerebral mucormycosis. So once it affects the sinuses, the person can suffer from severe headache, nasal discharge, nasal stuffiness, as well as the presence of blackish pigments on the nose are the primary symptoms when it involves the sinuses. So once it starts to affect the brain, it can cause severe headache, nausea, vomiting, and the high-grade fever, as well as the person might be disoriented, and it can also cause seizures or epileptic attacks. Now the next variant is the pulmonary mucormycosis or the mucormycosis which affects lungs. So once this fungus invades into the lung, it can cause cough, breathing difficulty, hemoptysis, or the person might spit out blood, and high-grade fever. The third variety is the gastrointestinal mucormycosis, or the ones which affect the GI system or the stomach. So once this fungus invades into the GI system, it can cause diarrhea, stomach upset or stomach pain. The gastrointestinal mucormycosis is not so common in all age groups. It primarily affects children, often less than 1 year of age, who have been treated with multiple antibiotics and steroids for various other pathologies, are the ones who are more prone to develop gastrointestinal mucormycosis. This variant affects people who have some cuts or ulcers or any other wound or burn marks are there on the skin. Through these areas, the fungus can get inoculated into the body, and it can cause localized as well as diffuse skin involvement. Disseminated mucormycosis are the ones which can affect multiple organs. Once the mucormycosis affects one organ, if your immunity level is really down, the infection can get transmitted to other organs via the blood, and these are the most toxic variants of mucormycosis. In order to diagnose a mucormycosis, first and foremost, the most important one is if a person is suffering from any of the clinical symptoms which I mentioned before, he or she has to consult a doctor as soon as possible. If there is a strong clinical history, in order to confirm the diagnosis, your doctor might tell you to get an X-ray or a CT scan of the affected area. So followed by an imaging, the next step is to get a respiratory sample or any other sample from the body, and the sample has to be sent for various microbiological tests in order to confirm the presence of fungus. But the gold standard test to confirm the presence of mucormycosis or black fungus in a person's body is to take a biopsy from the affected organ and send it for histopathology as well as various microbiological tests. That gives you 100% confirmation whether the person is suffering from mucormycosis or not. Now, in a resource limited setting like in India, it won't be possible to get a tissue biopsy or a culture in each and every individual. But if you feel that there is a strong clinical suspicion of mucormycosis or black fungus exists, then the person has to be initiated on treatment with antifungals as early as possible. And after diagnostic confirmation, if you feel that the person is not responding to your antifungals, then that affected organ has to be removed surgically as soon as possible. So as I mentioned before, diagnosing mucormycosis is an extremely difficult task, and once you confirm the diagnosis, initiate the patient on antifungal therapy as early as possible. After initiation of antifungal therapy, if you feel that the person is not getting adequate response to the antifungal treatment, consider surgical option, that is surgical removal of the affected organ as early as possible to avoid dissemination of the fungus to other body parts. In spite of this aggressive line of therapy, generally 50 to 80% of the people succumb to mucormycosis, which makes it an extremely difficult task to treat the people who are suffering from this particular disorder. I'd already discussed about the vulnerable group which can suffer from mucormycosis. So those group of people should be extremely careful about this infection. The ones who are suffering from diabetes mellitus with uncontrolled blood sugars should consult a doctor as soon as possible, monitor their blood sugar levels properly, and if required, please do take insulin as well. Point number 2 is regarding the usage of steroids in COVID-19 patients. So steroids has to be used primarily only for people who are suffering from moderate to severe illness, that is the ones who are on oxygen support with multilobar pneumonia or consolidation, and the ones who is on ICU care. The other group of patients who are relatively asymptomatic or who suffer from mild disease, steroid is not needed at all. If you supplement steroids unnecessarily, your sugar level goes up and it acts as a culture media for the fungus to grow inside your body. Point number 3 would be people who are working in construction sites or who are dealing with compost and who are into gardening. If you have any cuts or ulcers, skin ulcers, it has to be covered properly. So another important point is to maintain a proper personal hygiene. There have been a practice in certain states in India to, especially in COVID-19 patients, to take a bath in cow dung and to drink cow's urine, and also such kinds of unhealthy practices has to be strictly avoided, because it's already proven that the black fungus can thrive in cow dung. So maintain a proper personal hygiene, because this really helps in cutting down the transmission of infection. Another important aspect is try to rely on useful information and from trustworthy sources about COVID-19 as well as mucormycosis, because there is n number of news which has been circulated in social media which creates a lot of panic among people, and most of this 90% of this information is from unreliable sources. Try to rely on trustworthy healthcare professionals who gives the correct information so that panic is not being spread across the nation. Even though mucormycosis is a deadly infection, none of you has to panic about it. For the reason is that this is an extremely rare form of fungus. Not every individual is not affected by this fungus. If it won't be transmitted from an infected individual to another person by coughs or sneezes, that is not the way how it has been transmitted. People who are suffering from diabetes has to monitor their sugars properly, consult a nearby doctor, because you guys are the people who are more vulnerable to this infection. And in terms of COVID-19 and mucormycosis, judicious use of antibiotics and steroids is recommended on a mandatory basis. So none of you have to worry about mucormycosis, because as of now we don't have a pandemic of this particular infection in India. If you have any of the symptoms which I had mentioned to you before, please do consult a doctor as early as possible. Thank you.